Hi, I'm Chris Peacock, and this is Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 2, Tooth and Claw. In the last episode, the Doctor and Rose went to New Earth, and while there, they went to a hospital in New York City, or just outside of New York City, and we found out that the cat nurses were experimenting, creating cures of diseases, but they were using grown people to do that, so they were all arrested at the end. However, the Doctor did not get a message from the face of Bo. We'll see if that comes up. There's no way it'll come up this episode. That was just last episode. They won't just go immediately to it, but we'll see if that comes up later. Still expecting at some point this season for the return of Captain Jack. Still might be too early for that. Might not happen at all. But I really do think it's going to happen before Torchwood starts. I don't think this episode is going to continue from the last one. But sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Usually it's kind of obvious that the last one ended on some sort of cliffhanger, and that one definitely didn't. So it probably isn't going to be a continuation of that story. But it also could be a continuation of some other story, because the last one was kind of a continuation of the end of the world. So we'll see. Regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing it, so let's get into it.
You want the house?
We will take the house.
Would you like my wife while you're at it?
If you won't stand aside, and we'll take it by force.
That's just the maids. You don't have to terrorize the maids.
What is it? What's under the canvas? Father, answer me. What's in there?
May God forgive me.
Sheffield, England, 21st November 1979. What do you think?
Sheffield it is?
1979! Hell of a year! China invades Vietnam. The Muppet movie. Love that one.
Oh, the Muppet movie. Yes.
1879. Same difference.
You'll explain your presence and the nakedness of this girl.
Been chasing this wee naked child over hill and over dale. Isn't that right, yeah? Timorous beastie. Rose? Might I introduce Her Majesty Queen Victoria, Empress of India and Defender of the Faith.
Rose Tyler, ma'am.
Why didn't you say so immediately? It states clearly here that you have been appointed by the Lord Provost as my protector.
Is it? Yes, it does. Good. Good.
I wanted to say, we are not amused. I bet you £5 I can make her say it.
Well, if I gamble on that, it'd be an abuse of my privilege as a traveller in time.
10p.
Done.
I can't do this. It's treason. And your wife will suffer the consequences.
Who's that guy on Game of Thrones?
It's my first visit to this house. My late husband spoke of it often. The Torchwood estate.
Torchwood. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by trying to think of who he is. I don't want to look it up because I'm afraid I'll see something I shouldn't. Right now I'm thinking he was on Game of Thrones, but I can't picture his character if he was. If I don't look it up, I'm going to be thinking about it the entire episode. But if I do look it up, I might see something I shouldn't.
It's a bit rubbish. How many prisms has it got? Way too many. The magnification's gone right over the top. That's a stupid kind of... Am I being rude again?
Yep.
But it's pretty. It's very... pretty.
Could easily not be amused or something. No?
This device surveys the infinite work of God. What could be finer?
I like that you
Steeped in
keep
astronomy
trying,
and
Rose.
sciences. When Albert was told about your local wolf, he was transported.
So what's this wolf then?
It's just a story.
We shall dine at 7 and talk some more of this wolf. After all, there is a full moon tonight.
Was it a werewolf?
So there is, Mom.
Okay, you're given them all either poison or just something to put them to sleep. Either way, they're not gonna... that looked like sleep, not death. Okay. Still could be death.
Oh, miss, I did warn you. It's not dead. I don't think. He must be drugged or something.
Alright, it's distracting me way too much. I know how to look this up without getting spoiled. So, right now I'm assuming that this is going to be a werewolf story. Okay. Alright, yep. He was on Game of Thrones. He played, I won't spoil it for you
That's the
guys.
charm of a good
He was on
story.
Game of Thrones. So I knew this show would have aliens in it. I wasn't expecting supernatural terrestrial things.
Begin your tale, Sir Robert. There's a chill in the air.
Unless werewolves are also aliens.
Once in a generation, a boy will vanish from his homestead.
So this guy was this generation. I'm still assuming werewolf, but I don't want to assume that my knowledge of werewolves applies.
What planet are you from?
Oh, intelligence. I carved out his soul and sat in his heart.
Are there descriptions of the creature?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's not a werewolf.
Drawing. This is a man who becomes an animal.
A werewolf?
I get it. The show's just changing werewolf mythology, so this
you
is
wanna get back
a
home,
werewolf,
we
but
can
it's
help.
not a werewolf.
With one bite, I would pass into her blood. And then it begins the empire of the wolf.
What if they turned from God and worshipped the wolf?
And what if they were with us right now?
I mean, this is ostensibly the same as a traditional werewolf, just not quite. It works.
What is it that you want?
The throne.
Where the hell have you been?
Oh, I don't think so, woman.
The correct form of address is Your Majesty.
Whether that worked or not,
Take the girls, get them out through the kitchen.
I'm glad she wasn't just sitting there defenseless.
It must have crawled away to death.
Wasn't after you. It's after her.
What do you do?
We run.
Yeah, good idea.
You got any silver bullets?
Not on me, no.
Yeah, then we run. Your Majesty, as a doctor, I recommend a vigorous jog. Good for the health.
That's a doctor.
I'll take this position and hold it. You keep moving, for God's sake. Your Majesty, I went to look for the property and it was taken. The chest was empty.
I have it. It's safe.
Is it silver?
Then remove yourself, ma'am.
So whatever the queen has must be made out of silver.
What is it? Why can't I get in?
I tell you what, though, Mum, I bet you're not amused now.
Do you think this funny?
No, I'm sorry.
Mistletoe. They're all garlanded in mistletoe and the wolf doesn't attack them.
Viscum album, the oil of the mistletoe. It's been worked into the wood like a varnish. How clever was your dad? I love him! Powerful stuff, mistletoe, bursting with lectins and viscotoxins.
And the wolf's allergic to it.
Oh, it thinks it is.
I would destroy myself rather than let that creature infect me. But that's no matter. I ask only that you find some place of safekeeping for something far older and more precious than myself.
Something made of silver? Oh.
Your Majesty.
No, it's not made out of silver.
Is that the cow we know?
Oh, yes. The greatest diamond in the world. Prince Albert kept on having the Kohinoor cut down. Used to be 40% bigger than this, but he was never happy. Kept on cutting and cutting.
He always said the shine was not quite right.
Hold on, all these separate things, they're not separate at all, they're connected. Oh, my head, my head. What if this house is a trap for you? Is that right, Mum?
Obviously.
At least that's what the wolf intended. But what if there's a trap inside the trap? They planned against it, laying the real trap, not for you.
The telescope?
For the wolf. Good shot!
Mistletoe!
No mistletoe in these doors because your father wanted the wolf to get inside. I just need time. Is there any way of barricading this?
Do your work and I'll defend it.
If we could bind them shut with rope or something.
I said I'll find you time, sir. Come on.
Okay. What is the telescope
The
gonna do?
stargazing.
Yes, it is. I committed treason for you. But now my wife will remember me with honor.
It's a light chamber. It magnifies the light like a weapon. We just gotta power it up.
But what? There's no electricity. Moonlight. The wolf needs moonlight. It's made by moonlight.
You're 70% water. You can still drown. Come on!
Yep. That kind of makes sense.
Make it brighter. Let me go.
That's kind of cool.
Majesty? Did it bite you?
No, it's a cut, that's all. By the power invested in me by the church and the state, I dub thee Sir Doctor of TARDIS.
Of TARDIS.
By the power invested in me by the church and the state, I dub thee Dame Rose of the Powerless State. You may stand. I am not amused. Yes. Not remotely amused. And henceforth, I banish you.
I'm sorry?
I have rewarded you, Sir Doctor. And now you're exiled from this empire, never to return.
Queen Victoria's a werewolf.
Could be. And her children have the royal disease.
Oh my God, they're werewolves!
I propose an institute to investigate these strange happenings and to fight them. I would call it Torchwood. The Torchwood Institute.
All right. Some early, well, not that early, but some mentions of Torchwood. I'm gonna have to look at my list to make sure I don't keep watching Doctor Who and not switch over to Torchwood when I'm supposed to, but I know it's not yet, so I'm good. I'm good for a few more episodes at least. That was really good. I liked that one. It was the right amount of horror for me, because I'm not a horror fan. That was the right amount. There was some suspense, but it wasn't... My problem with horror isn't that it's scary. My problem with horror is... fire. Not at my house. But yeah, that's the fire whistle. So I'm going to stop now. I'll talk about this episode at the beginning of the next episode because I don't want to have to try and talk over the fire whistle. So hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.